Hi friends, in Planet Earth Dating it's Friday, October 20th, 2017. In both the Lynn Life and the Jamie Body Mind, the authorized souls remain child souls from the deeper, denser dimensions, nature realm's guardians, and other souls who are already living by the rules assigned to the Search for Truth community by wiser minds above all of us, and already participating in the work to complete the Search for Truth assignments already given to the Search for Truth community by wiser minds above all of us. We are attempting once more to use the doorway of Life-Between-Lives Hypnosis to unstick various hindrances in this effort to manifest the divine plan for all dimensions, no matter what anyone else does or doesn't do, since that's what our soul contracts commit us to doing. I don't have a cough. I'm not ill. A cough is a common physical reaction to energy shifts. As we work together today, we want there to be many energy shifts. There will be energy shifts if we are successful in our work, and this body is attuned to energy because of doing this work for over 2 decades, and it's going to be coughing, but there is no illness involved in the cough. It's time to rest now. Just rest. Now, there is a very special switch, a switch that everyone has. It is a switch to the conscious mind. It looks kind of like a light switch. And with this switch, we can, with our own choice, choose to turn our conscious mind off for the duration of this exercise, knowing that we'll be able to turn it on again at the end. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Are you aware of your switch to your conscious mind?
Yeah.
Can you see it right now?
Yeah.
Can you see how to turn it off?
Yes.
Would you like to do that?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to count from 5 down to 1, and as I do that, you can put your finger on the switch and turn the switch off. At the base of the stairs, there's a doorway, and at the other side of the doorway is another life, a life that you lived before, a life that the relevant soul lived before, whoever the relevant soul is. And we know that the relevant soul may very well be the initial soul of this life, the soul known as Shira, but the relevant soul might be someone else also, and that it's okay. Is that all right with you?
Yeah.
Yes. On the other side of the doorway will be the life that has everything to do with the patterns of addiction to fantasy, selfishness, and laziness. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And when we get through that doorway, we'll go through the door and into a significant experience that has to do with these patterns that we wish to be free of. Is that acceptable to you?
Yeah.
All right. Right in front of you is the door. What color is that door?
It'd be like oak wood.
Oak wood. Wonderful. And can you see how the door is going to open?
It looks like we have to pry it open at the top, almost like a mail slot, or the return slot at a library.
Yes. Yes. And can you see how to do that?
Yes,
Let's go.
I think so.
Okay, let's get started. I'm going to count from 5 down to 1, and as I do so, this door will open, and we'll move through the door and into the experience. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Here we go. 5, the door is opening. 4, moving through the door and into the experience. 3, letting the moment unfold itself around you. wrapping itself around you. 2, feel your feet very present in the moment. Feel your feet pulling you into the experience and drawing you into the experience. And 1, easily and effortlessly you are there. First impressions now, very first impressions. Are you inside or outside?
Outside.
Outside. Is it day or night?
It feels like I'm floating in space.
Go on.
So I don't know about day or night, and it doesn't feel like I have a dense body. It kind of feels like I'm floating in space.
Floating in space, not a dense body. Are you what we would call a dead person?
I might be a dead person. I also don't feel a whole lot of identity of self, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Like I don't feel a lot of thinking of me as me in any real sense.
Interesting.
And I feel enormous.
Yes.
Just kind of floating in space.
Interesting.
It's not what I expected.
Do you find any points of reference?
Yes, there are floating objects in the distance, like planets or maybe large stars that seem familiar.
Yes.
To me.
Yes. Move toward them. Are you able to move closer to them?
Yeah.
Go ahead and do that. Start heading for those familiar presences, be they stars or planets. Does this make sense?
Yes.
Notice what you're feeling as you're approaching those planets or stars. How do you feel? Happy, sad, or some other way?
I think happy to see that they're okay, but also sad because I feel like they were supposed to turn out differently and I was supposed to turn out differently, and this isn't at all how this was supposed to go.
How is it supposed to go?
I think we were all supposed to do better somehow, although I'm not really sure of the specifics.
Yes, but there's a sense that things haven't turned out as we were supposed to.
And like all of us share responsibility for it.
Yes.
I definitely feel like, well, I haven't done what I was supposed to do or become what I was supposed to become.
Yes.
And these other presences either. Like, oh, all of us have bungled kind of the big plan we were supposed to be part of.
Yes. And as you look at these planets and maybe stars, do any of them look familiar?
Very familiar.
Are you able to identify, for example, is planet Earth any of them?
Planet Earth is way over there to the right.
Yes.
He doesn't seem to be a part of our group.
Yes.
And also doesn't seem to be very cool. I think the group that I'm a part of, we definitely seem to think of ourselves as cool.
Yes.
Or at least having some kind of status.
Yes.
And that guy's kind of just some little, like, non-event. We don't pay much attention to him.
Yes. Describe your group, your own group.
We're very big.
Yes.
It helps to see Earth because Earth looks very small, like the size of a thumbnail.
Yes.
To me, we're very big and bright.
Yes.
Very bright.
Are you anywhere near the sun for Earth? Is that also off to the right?
That's off to the right.
Okay.
Maybe we are stars because I definitely feel like the sun of the Earth is of a higher status than the Earth and much closer to someone I would consider associating with.
Ah. Have you ever associated with the son of Earth? Or not really?
Not really, no.
But closer to your status?
Yes.
Yeah.
In such a way that if we were standing in a line together for something, I wouldn't be outright gross to him.
But you do consider yourself a person of higher standing, is that it?
Yes, I think so. In a kind of gracious way.
Oh, how gracious of you.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Are you aware that we have come on a quest on behalf of the collective of souls that operates out of a host life, a body-mind that lives on planet Earth?
Well, no, I wasn't aware of that. It seems like kind of out of the blue, which is funny because I'm floating in space.
Yes. It seems unlikely, doesn't it?
Seems like completely unlikely. I haven't even heard of that happening.
Do you think it's possible?
Yeah, I think it's possible. I think it's possible.
Well, if we were operating out of a collective of souls that lives in a host life on planet Earth, would it be appropriate to move a little bit closer to planet Earth for the duration of our involvement?
Sure, that makes sense to me. I'm willing to do that.
Would you be willing to either draw Earth to you or you go nearer to Earth, whichever?
I think I would rather go nearer to Earth. It's probably not cool for me to draw Earth closer to my group.
Interesting.
But I can go nearer to Earth.
All right.
I definitely feel like if I invite Earth over, that's a blow to my social standing.
Interesting. Why would it be a blow to your social standing?
It seems like, and I might have to back up and correct myself, that Earth is uncool in a very specific way. Like how there are people who are geeky about specific things.
Yes.
And whatever the specific thing is that the Earth is very into has gotten a bad reputation as being uncool.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to invite over the World of Warcraft geek.
Yes.
Because it's not just about Earth itself, it's whatever it is that Earth is really into is an uncool culture.
I understand.
And it also feels kind of yucky. Like whatever the culture is, we think it's somehow a bad thing.
Not only low class, but also inherently bad.
Yes,
is that it?
Not only low class, but also inherently bad.
Okay. Well, as we're drawing closer to Earth, are you able to gain any more clarity about the flaws of the culture of Earth?
It kind of smells like cigarette smoke the closer I get.
Yes, I smell the cigarette smoke.
Yeah.
Coming a little bit closer. Do you mind coming just a little bit closer?
No.
We have a mission that we're working on today, and that is to break our addictions to fantasy. Does that have anything to do with that aspect of Earth's culture that's so uncool?
It might, which would explain why the metaphor was World of Warcraft. But I also have this kind of itchy feeling in my chest that that's also a big problem for my group. It just is in a slightly different way.
You mean the addiction to fantasy?
Yeah. We don't call it that. Nobody calls it that. But when you say that and I kind of look at Earth, I can see it in Earth. Mm-hmm. And ours, I think, is definitely a classier addiction to fantasy. Mm-hmm. And I say it in that way of classier addiction to fantasy.
Mm-hmm. Like a cocaine addiction instead of a crack addiction?
Exactly. It's like, well, no, we're not doing crack.
We're doing cocaine.
We're doing cocaine and driving fancy cars. We're not.
Under the influence.
Exactly.
Right, I see.
I feel willing to admit that we have a problem with addiction to fantasy because I think that by talking about our addiction to fantasy in the way of like cocaine and fast cars shows how cool we are. It's like when people complain about the things that go bad on their fancy vacations.
Yes.
Like, oh, we were in Monaco and the hotel room, was very large, but the window faced such a way that the sun would hit us in the morning and make it so hard to sleep past 9:30.
Yeah.
I really must get my sleep.
Yeah.
I feel like we're willing to say, well, we're addicted to fantasy.
Yes. It's a way of stating how cool we are.
Yes.
Yes.
Like I think that being addicted to fantasy in the way that we do it is very cool.
Yeah.
And the way that Earth does it is low class and also unappealing.
Trashy somehow.
Trashy. It's trash.
All right. Well, what is important for us to notice about this situation?